The number of tests has reached a new high. We did over 21,000 tests. We have over 10,000 new cases, 102,000 total tested positive, 14,000 hospitalized, 3,700 ICU patients, 8,800 patients discharged. That's good news. Number of deaths, highest single increase in the number of deaths since we started, 2,300 to 2,900 deaths. Supplies, PPE, are in short supply, as they are across the country. We need companies to make the materials. It is unbelievable to me that in New York State, in the United States of America, we can't make these materials, and that we are all shopping China to try to get these materials, and we're all competing against each other. This is an N95 mask. This is it. It was 70 cents before this started. It's now as high as $7. But this is all that an N95 mask is. It can't be that we can't make these. I understand if there's a financial burden, we will address that, and we will work with you. So please contact us. Javits is going to be converted to a COVID facility. The original plan was that it would not take COVID patients, COVID positive patients. It would take non-COVID patients, and it would be an overflow for hospitals. As it turned out, we don't have non-COVID people to any great extent in the hospitals. Ironically, the number of non-COVID cases has dropped because so many things are shut down. You don't have the same number of automobile accidents or people getting hit by cars. You don't have the same crime rate. We're still trying to buy from China. We're working with Alibaba, which has been very, very helpful to us. We're going to have to redeploy ventilators from across the system. In other words, there are hospitals that have ventilators. There are hospitals that have PPE equipment. There are private sector companies that have PPE equipment that they are not using, that we're going to need to redeploy to the places in the hospitals where we need them. So I'm going to sign an executive order that says the state can take ventilators and PPE from institutions that don't need them now and redeploy them to other parts of the state. If you don't get the ventilator back, I give you my personal word, I will pay you for the ventilator. But I'm not going to let people die because we didn't redistribute ventilators. State budget passed last night, 3 a.m., as you know. The state budget was extraordinary. First, it passed a lot of major policy initiatives. The budget was difficult because the state has no money. And how do you do a budget when you can't really forecast revenues? So we really start with an assumption, and then what we're saying is when we see how much revenue the state makes, how fast the economy comes back, what the expenses are, we'll calibrate accordingly. The only operational model that I see is you have curves. We've been talking about our curve. You have curves in different parts of the country, and those curves occur at different times. I think the only practical solution at this point is focus on the emergency that is in front of you. Focus on the emergency at the place and time that is in front of you. And then redeploy to the next situation. So, New York is the tip of the spear, so to speak. We have the high numbers. We have the first major encounter. Deploy resources to New York. We'll hit that curve. We'll be at the top of the curve. 17 days, 21 days, we're on the other side of the curve. And we're coming down. And then I don't need the ventilators that we've amassed and split and the BiPAP machines. We can redeploy what we have, personnel, equipment, to whatever locality is next. In a matter of days to come help New York in the middle of a pandemic. 20,000 people. Think about that. 20,000 health professionals said, I'll leave my home and come to your state. Systematize that voluntarism. Systematize that generosity, that charity, and that expertise. And that's how we beat this damn virus as it marches across the country.